BTS News Today. The day felt different for millions of BTS fans around the world. Not because of the official announcement of the new world tour schedule, nor because of the release of a new song from one of the members, but because of one moment that looks so simple but holds deep meaning: a hug. The camera captured moments of emotional intimacy that the two BTS members showed in the midst of an atmosphere full of stress and longing. But the hug was no ordinary hug. Not just a form of affection or just an expression of longing, but like carrying a message that is heavier, deeper, and even more surprising than can be imagined. The incident was recorded when BTS was in their internal moment, backstage at a special military event that was only attended by a limited number of people. Most of the BTS members who were serving in the military gathered in one enclosed space, and as usual, Big's internal camera recorded their activities for documentation. But the footage that was accidentally leaked to the public showed something that made millions of ARMY silent, even shed tears. In the 27-second video, which has now been viewed more than 20 million times in just 3 hours, Taeyong is seen standing in silence with a downcast look. In front of him, JIKOOK stepped slowly and approached him. No words, no loud greetings, no hasty hugs. There was only a depth of silence that seemed to speak louder than a scream. And then, the hug happened. A hug that lasts more than 10 seconds. A hug accompanied by a soft pat on the back. A hug that made Taeyong close his eyes and take a deep breath, as if trying to hold back something that was almost spilled. Not a single word was heard, but the world seemed to hear their hearts. The hug instantly became a world trending topic. The hashtags #MoreThanAHug, #JIKOOK and #WhatHappened BTS dominated social media, with speculation rolling in like an unstoppable storm. Some guess that the two are holding something that they have not been able to share with the world. Some believe that the hug is a symbol of the end of the conflict that has been hidden. But not a few also see the moment as a form of emotional reinforcement that occurs due to the very heavy pressures of military life for those who were previously used to living in the glitter and rave reviews of thousands of fans. Some longtime BTS fans began to dig back into past moments between Taeyong and JIKOOK, a couple that some of the ARMY called JIKOOK. They look back at how in the early days of their debut, they always looked the closest. JIKOOK is often seen following Taeyong everywhere, and Taeyong is always the first to notice JIKOOK's emotional swings. But over time, as maturity, as well as the pressures of fame, distance seemed to begin to emerge. Fans noticed that they no longer appeared together on camera as often as they used to, and many speculated that their relationship had stretched. But the hug, yes, the hug cleared all doubts. It wasn't a hug from two coworkers. It was the embrace of two people who understood each other, knew each other's wounds, and perhaps kept each other a secret. Some entertainment journalists in South Korea tried to find out more about the background of the moment. Some of the internal staff, who did not want to be named, said that before the hug, Taeyong looked very moody. Even in the briefing sessions they were used to, he didn't speak a word. JIKOOK was the first to approach him. Another source said that the hug happened after Taeyong received a letter from a family member who was sick, and it made him very emotional. But there is no official confirmation from Big Music. In fact, it is precisely the agency's reticence that adds to the mystery that surrounds the moment. Jimin, who was also on location at the time, spoke in a short live session hours after the video went viral. Speaking on condition of anonymity, he said, "Sometimes, a hug is the only way to say something you can't say. There is pain that cannot even be shared, but we can share that burden with one movement." His words led many to believe that no matter what happened, it was not an ordinary moment. From various fan reactions, many felt that the moment was like a reminder to them that the members of BTS, no matter how strong and glamorous they look in front of the camera, are still ordinary human beings who have burdens, wounds, and a sense of loss. Many soldiers have revealed that they feel more emotionally connected to BTS precisely because of moments like these. Because it is not only their songs that touch the heart, but also the fact that they feel the same emotions as millions of other people in the world. A fan from Italy wrote in a lengthy Instagram post, "I don't know why I cry just seeing two people hugging each other. But maybe it's because I know that hugs aren't just physical. It is the language of their soul. And as an ARMY, I can feel it." This comment was reshared thousands of times and became a symbol of how the hug shook the emotions of the global fan community. Meanwhile, nonverbal communication expert from Yonsei University, Dr. Jimin, gave his analysis of the video in a TV talk show. He said that the hug was not an ordinary hug in terms of duration and body contact. Usually, a professional hug or a hug due to formality lasts only 3 to 5 seconds. But when the duration exceeds 10 seconds and is accompanied by head contact and harmonized breathing rhythms, it indicates a deep emotional attachment, even a shared trauma, he explains. For some, maybe a hug is just a hug. But for those who love BTS with all their hearts, the moment opened a window into a world that had been hidden. A world where Taehyung and Jungkook support each other in times of fragility, take care of each other in times of near collapse, and remind each other that they're still here, still holding on, still standing. Even though the world is constantly changing and pressing in from all directions, not a few began to speculate that the moment would be a turning point in BTS's dynamics going forward. Many hope that after the end of conscription, members will speak more openly about what they experienced during this transition period. Others hope that the moment will be part of a future documentary that is more honest and deeper than anything they've shown before. However, until recently, the hug stood on its own, without an official narrative, without a confession, without clarification. And that's exactly where the power is, because not everything needs to be explained in words. Sometimes, one hug can be more honest than 1,000 words. Sometimes, one hug can answer a question that has been hanging around. And sometimes, one hug can reunite two hearts that were far apart. For BTS and ARMY, the hug will always be remembered not only as a moment of emotion, but as a reminder that they are still together, that nothing is really missing, that behind the glare of cameras, fame, and thousands of grandiose stages, there is still a space where two best friends can hug each other and say silently, "I'm here. I'm with you." And perhaps, the hug is indeed more than just a hug. Perhaps, it was the beginning of something that we do not yet fully understand. But one thing is certain, the world will never see hugs the same way again. A few days after the moment shook the hearts of fans, the Korean entertainment world began to dig deeper. Various talk show programs and celebrity news shows try to discuss it, both from an emotional, social, and psychological point of view. But interestingly, it's not just the public that's talking, it's fellow celebrities who know BTS personally. One of the most striking was the comment from actor Park Seo-joon, Taehyung's close friend in the Wooga Squad gang. In a limited interview while attending the premiere of his latest film, Park Seo-joon only gave a small smile when asked about the viral hug. But then he said, "People never know what's really going on behind the scenes." But I think that hug was one of the few moments when Taehyung finally stopped keeping everything to himself. The brief statement immediately led the public to speculate that Taehyung may have been harboring enormous feelings and pressure, until finally he could only be released through an embrace with the person he trusted the most. Jungkook, a former BTS vocal coach, also opened his voice through uploads on his personal social media. He wrote, "From the beginning, Taehyung and Jungkook always had a unique relationship. They are very different. One is full of mystery and tranquility. Another is full of energy and curiosity. But precisely because of that difference, they are like two pieces of a puzzle that complement each other." I was not surprised to see that moment, but I was very touched. The international media began to cover. Billboard, Rolling Stone, and Enemy wrote reviews of the hug and its impact on the emotional connection between the artist and his fans. The New York Times even brought it up in a cultural essay titled "The Hug That Moved Millions," which discusses how small interactions from global celebrities can create deep resonance among a modern society hungry for connection and sincerity.
Suppressing all his talents, yeah. He found a way to go and change, become an advocate for taking control of your life, go out and battle, and you think